Former President Donald Trump dismissing the impact his legal battles could have on his presidential campaign as he is due back in a Manhattan courtroom for closing arguments in his civil fraud trial today. Now, Trump's legal team asked to delay this in light of the death of his mother-in-law. The judge refused.
Yeah, the judge also says, I assume that Mr. Trump will not agree to the reasonable, lawful limits I have imposed as a precondition to giving a closing statement. Therefore, he will not be speaking in court tomorrow. Former President Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, joins us now. Alina, good morning to you. Trump wanted to speak in court today. The judge said no. How big of a deal is this?
Well, initially, we had just asked, could we please postpone today? His mother-in-law clearly just died, and he would have liked to have been with his family. The judge said no.
Why?
His reasoning was something I can't get into, but ridiculous. There's security we have to pay for. I don't know. The most security that gets paid for is the Secret Service that comes with the president that has to get disrupted, fly in, fly out. But they have no problem wasting taxpayer dollars for the last 3 months. So I don't understand that reasoning. He required him to come in when his family is grieving. That's number one. Number two, the president, as a defendant, wanted to put words on the record and say what he had to say in terms of his closing. He has a right to get up and speak. He is a defendant. The judge said, oh, OK, but we're going to restrict that speech again. Now, remember, this is a judge that put a gag order on me, on the president, all the lawyers. And we're dealing with that every day. So, the president wouldn't speak, and I would never have him speak under those circumstances.
To be clear, it's one thing to limit closing arguments to the information and evidence presented at trial. That's a rule that everybody needs to follow, all lawyers. But how much further did the judge order go beyond that in limiting what Donald Trump could say?
Effectively, he didn't want him to litigate the ugly parts of the case. He didn't want Donald Trump to say a lot of things that we would be saying. Now, I'm not sure why, because if you don't have him say it, I'm going to say it, and I'm a pretty big loudmouth myself. So, he has a right. And I think we're seeing this consistently across a lot of these cases. They gag him. They tell him you can't publicly say it. They say you can't even say it when you're at home on True Social. You can't say it on Twitter. Imagine free speech being completely slashed, not for a normal person, never mind us, but for the leading candidate of the Republican Party. It's so obvious what they're doing. I'm tired of it. And I think the American people are really getting tired.
Could I just make one quick follow-up? So basically,
Sure.
Let's say this was the closing that you are going to read. Basically, they're saying Donald Trump could not read the exact same thing.
That's right. They're saying exactly that.
Wow.